Hello everyone, Daphne here with a video about Fort Worth, Texas, which is where my husband and I live. A wonderful, wonderful place in the great state of Texas. They often say that the West starts in historic Fort Worth. This is the perfect place for visitors to experience a part of American history firsthand. There is no better place than the Fort Worth Stockyards, a National Historic District, to get a touch of the Old West. You will walk along original brick walkways. There you will find old wooden fenced corrals, beautifully exemplifying Western heritage, the true history of Texas's famous livestock industry. But there is so much more to do on this 90-acre historic site. Yesterday was a beautiful day here in Fort Worth, so my husband and I decided to visit the historic Fort Worth Stockyards. Again, because we've done this many times, but it's so much fun, to watch the reenactment of an historical event, the Longhorn cattle drive. This twice-daily reenactment takes place to commemorate this important late 19th century Texas event. Here's the first picture of the Longhorns coming down the main street. The original long and the original long and arduous cattle drives took place on the famous Chisholm Trail. During the 19th century, the Chisholm Trail was a major route for transporting Texas livestock northward. Cattle drovers, better known to us as cowboys, began their long trek of 800 miles from South Texas to Fort Worth, then on to Oklahoma, with their last stop being Kansas. This major route out of Texas was used from 1867 to 1884. These very long trips were hazardous for both the cattle and the cowboys. Moving the cattle northward was a 2 to 3 month ordeal. Their journey included crossing major rivers, traversing canyons, as well as low mountains. That wasn't all. The cowboys had to be on constant alert for attacks by Indians, outlaws that are looking to steal their cattle, and also cattle stampedes. Once the Longhorns arrived safely in Abilene, Kansas, they were shipped to parts in the north and east. The cattle market in Texas was almost worthless in the late 1800s due to the overabundance of Longhorns. However, there was great demand in the north and east. This long and arduous journey would finally end. Quick time out here to invite you to subscribe to our channel. If you are enjoying our content, please enter your comments below and hit the subscribe button. If there is anything you would like to add or hear about in the future, we'd be so delighted to read what you have to say. Comments are always welcome. A like would be greatly appreciated. And as before I said, suggestions are always welcome. We work hard to bring you interesting content, but we are always grateful for feedback. Thank you. Okay, so the year was 1887 when the Missouri and Kansas-Texas Railway began operating in Texas. That was when the long, hazardous Chisholm Trail cattle drives came to an end. But it sure is fun watching the reenactment of these cattle drives in the short parade that goes down Main Street in the Stockyards twice daily. Okay, but there's a lot more to do in the Stockyards than just watch a parade. For instance, the kids love climbing up on a real Longhorn. They just have so much fun. And that Longhorn just stands there and lets them all get up there and pictures are taken. I just think it's so cute. There's also a place called Mule Alley. Mule Alley is filled with interesting small shops, restaurants, and at the very end of this alleyway is a brand new hotel called the Drover Hotel. Very pricey, I might add. Another interesting thing that's featured here in the Stockyards is the John Wayne An American Experience. My husband's favorite Western actor happens to be John Wayne. Another thing you'll see most days when you visit the Fort Worth Stockyards is this old Cadillac, this old yellow Cadillac with Longhorns attached to the front. I don't know why, but that never ceases to amuse me every time I see that behemoth of a car driving around this historic area. Tickles my funny bone. There are lots of things for the kids too besides getting up on top of a Longhorn. They can, there's a kids' rodeo, and as you can see, it happens on this Saturday at 1:30 p.m. An absolutely great place to stay, which I highly recommend because it's one of my husband's and my favorite hotels, is the legendary Stockyards Hotel. It opened its doors over 100 years ago in 1907. The hotel has the most comfortable furniture. The beds were easy and comfortable to sleep in. Oh, we slept like babies that night. But the best part is the elegant ambiance of the Old West. So many interesting people have stayed here, such as cattle barons, the top brass of country music. Even an outlaw or two has found safekeeping and refuge at the Stockyard Hotel. And due to its age, guests have traveled here over the century by foot, by horseback, by stagecoach, and of course by the modern-day car. Definitely a great and historic gem, if you ask me. Another thing about the Stockyards is they have some absolutely fascinating statues with the history of them and plaques underneath. I just think these sculptures are absolutely amazing. I don't know how people make sculptures this big. And here's another one of a cattle drive. Absolutely magnificent. So to enjoy an authentic Old West experience, well, it is something for the old and the young. You all come to Texas, one of the friendliest states in the Union. What follows this portion of the video is the one I took yesterday of the entire Longhorn parade at the Fort Worth Stockyards. The parade is very short, but I hope you'll get a kick out of this authentic experience.
Cowboys walking in front of them so they can't walk straight around them. Yeah. Thank you. I couldn't think of the word. I got a little bit of video. Yeah, they're playing rock. Feet are like, ugh. little